Hey, good morning, everybody. Time to cook. It's Wednesday, and I was thinking maybe something that doesn't cost a lot of money, maybe something easy to find, and maybe you have it at home already. And I thought back to the COVID days when I was making recipes at home with stuff that I had at home, stuff in the freezer and that sort of thing, potatoes that last a long time, sausage, like that beautiful New Orleans style sausage. You got some of that Cajun style. It had some onions, easy to find. You got some stuff in the pantry, like just tomatoes and sugar, brown sugar, and then we've got some chicken thighs over here. Chicken thighs, very inexpensive and easy to find, boneless, skinless. That's what we're using today. So I'm going to take these. You know what? I'm going to put a glove on, make it easy. And I've got about 8 or 9 of them. So I'm just going to line the bottom of the pan with these. Much nicer with a glove, huh? Something about chicken, I really don't like touching it that much. And everyone says, I don't blame you. Isn't that funny? When Mr. Goddard was here, I'd cook something with chicken, and he'd tell me, he says, I never eat chicken. I said, well, why don't you eat chicken? He says, I worked in a chicken slaughterhouse. That's what he told me. So that's an appetizing side for our morning with the chicken today. Okay, get this out of the way. Get rid of the glove. And how about a little seasoning on the chicken here? So I've got some Cajun style seasoning here. That emerald style one works really great. And we're going to season this pretty thoroughly. I made one yesterday that we're going to try today. And I think I under-seasoned it a little bit when I tasted it. So I'm going to put a little extra seasoning in here. So this is what it's starting to look like. I'll give you a little peek at that. There you go. Look at that. So we got it on the bottom. Got some seasoning there. So now we're going to take some potatoes. So if you use an Idaho potato, you got to peel it and put it in right away because it's going to start to turn dark. If you get the red skins, you can make them ahead of time, like I just did, and put them in there. Okay, that's on top. Then we got this andouille sausage, this Cajun style sausage. We're going to put this in there. We've got about almost a pound, so that's about 1 package. You can use a little less, you can use a little more. That's the thing about the crock pot. You really don't have to measure much. And then we got some onions here. We're going to put the onions on top. It's 1 onion, like a medium to large onion. See, this thing's getting pretty full up, right? We're going to cook it on high for, well, see how full it is? So we're going to cook, what I did when I cooked this, I cooked it on high for about 2 hours, and then I put it the rest of the way, the rest of the 6 hours on low, and it turned out pretty good. Okay, so now we need some kind of au jus to put on the top of this, right? So I've got canned tomatoes. I got a little brown sugar, a little garlic here, a little more seasoning. Recipes on the website, easy to find. Don't be afraid to change it. A little seasoning for fun. We're going to give this a stir. Break up the sugar a little bit. Look around. Everybody in the pot, you think? What do you think, John? I'm saving that parsley for later. I'm saving that little seasoning for later. And then we're going to put the chicken broth in. Okay, so there we got a little juice. There we go. Put this in here. Just spoon it over the top. Looks pretty good, right? So then we're going to cap it up and cook as I just directed. And I think it's impossible to overcook it. And if you cook it for 6 hours, you're not going to undercook it. Put that top on here. I'm going to move this one out of the way. Ooh, it's a heavy little rascal. It's going to feed a lot of people. And I'm going to bring the one over that's done. If you remember last adventure, I kept it plugged in as I walked away with it. And we almost tossed it across the room. That would have been a sight to see and a moment to remember. But not the case today. Okay, so when I undid this thing, I put a big fork in there and I punched it around a little bit to break up the chicken, and that's what it's going to look like when we come back. Natalie is going to get a chance to taste it. So how about that? We'll be back right after the break.